Hi y'all, my name's Julie. I am actively on a weight loss journey, and that's what this video is going to be about. This is Straight Urchin Adventures, and one of our adventures that I am doing is learning and teaching myself how to lose weight. That means also being open and honest, and I want to use this as like a video diary. And my answer to being a video diary is being as honest as possible. I feel like the world needs a lot more of that. So, today's video is going to basically talk about how I failed this past week. It was Easter week, and I literally started my week off horrible and went from there. And then I went to the beach and got extremely sunburnt, and then didn't want to move and became one of those I just kind of ADHD trying to lose weight. Which brings me to basically one of the conversations that I want to have today, because I want to know if it's just me or if it's generally anybody else in the world, and if it's a thing, because there's two things that I have found that losing weight is difficult with. Is first, ADHD. I don't know why, but tracking calories and following a set amount of food that you have to eat a day, my brain can't process it. My brain doesn't understand it. I don't do it. I have two extremes. One's either I'm going to remember to eat and I'm going to eat, 3 meals a day, or the other one's I'm going to forget to eat and not eat anything until one of my friends sits there and says, "Hey, did you eat something today?" And I realized that I didn't eat it all. So ADHD and weight loss apparently don't go well together. Let me know if you have that same issue. The other issue that I had this week was more of the treat yourself mentality. When I was in high school, I had some friends that, ingrained the treat yourself mentality into my brain. And it literally was, "Oh, you can buy that. You've been doing great lately. Like, mentally, physically, all of the above, you've been doing great. You should treat yourself." And I'm not talking like ice cream or this, that, and the other thing. I'm just talking about anything. If you're craving something, or, you're going through a bad week because of your period, or, you're stressed out because of work or this, that, and the other thing, treat yourself. You've had a hard week, not a problem. Now, that mentality creates something that's even worse when you turn around and you consistently have it going on and over and over and over and over again. And I think this week made me realize that I've been doing that, and I've been doing that for, now almost 10 years. And I feel like that's that mentality that I have to change. And I want to know if anybody else is like that. Because I truly went to the treat yourself mentality. I went to, one of those of my brain sits there and says, you had a job interview the other day. Go ahead, go have a Frosty, go treat yourself, go out with friends, have a good time. And I realized this week that that was a difficult thing to break, which is kind of weird to say, because in my brain, it's just the way that I hang out with my friends and the things that I do with my friends. But at the same time, having that self-control and realizing, hey, I don't need to eat just because everybody else is eating, or, I can get something smaller, or, we go to the store and they're all buying stuff and, knickknacks or whatever. And, I don't need to buy anything. I think this week I taught myself that in the retrospective. I went to Barnes & Noble and didn't buy myself anything at all. And I'm a book reader. I love reading like there's no tomorrow. And I didn't buy a book. So that self-control, and realizing that self-control and the treat yourself mentality needs to basically disappear. And this is where I sit there and try to start to hold myself accountable, and doing a video diary, if you will, and posting it on YouTube is doing an accountability check, and, sitting there saying, hey, you had a bad week. That's okay. And we're going to improve on it. So I did increase the amount of steps that I did. I did increase the amount of physical stuff that I've been doing. I think every day I at least got over 5,000 steps, and most days I was at 9,000. And there was 2 days that I got to 10. Even the day I was at the beach and, you know, laying in the sun getting sunburned, I think I got over 10,000 steps. So at least that goal was accomplished. And this coming week, my goal is going to be fully to record, get 10,000 steps, and start going to the gym. I want to start building muscle and have been craving that, and have kind of looked back on what I've done in the past and how I want to do it. And that's what I want to do, is start going to the gym now, mind you. And I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but, you know, for me, going to the gym, I have part of me that's, you know, yes, go, enjoy your time. You'll enjoy being there. And then there's a part of me that's like, do I belong there? Which is absurd for me to think about, because I grew up going to ice rinks and being physical and, you know, doing all of these things. So it's not like it's the first time I've ever stepped foot in a gym. And my brain is still like, we don't know. Should you be there? Do you want to be there? Like, I desperately want to be there. I enjoy working out. I enjoy the endorphins and the dopamine that it gives me. And for some reason, my brain still sits there and says, you know, that may not be a place for you right now. But I don't know if anybody else struggles with that. So we'll get through it. That's okay. I'm going to start trying to go Monday through Friday to the gym and working out and building some muscle, because I definitely want to start lifting weights and doing that again. And I also want to curb that treat yourself mentality and the ADHD of like, hey, there's food in front of me, I'm going to eat this whole thing. Like, no, think about what you're eating, how you're eating, and doing that. And that's one of the things that I realized this week, of, you know, point out that problem and issue that I do have. So I guess that's the video. We didn't make it very far this week, but like I said, I want to be open and honest, and that's part of being open and honest, is just, you know, we failed this week. That's okay. You know, keep moving forward. So hopefully next week will be better. Bye.